Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the marketplace. Coming up, government incentivizes Eurobond holders with consent fee and special payment as it launches debt exchange program to restructure $13 billion. Also coming up, inflation to continue to ease over the short term and in 2024 at 20.8%. We have details from Fitch Solutions. Plus, oil marketing companies project marginal reduction in prices of petroleum products from the middle of this month if cedi stabilizes. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. Details coming up. And first up, investors who signed up for the Eurobond debt exchange program will receive an extra consent fee and 2 special payments. These are first set of compensations put forward by government to encourage the investors to sign up to the offer. George Rafi has more.
Government yesterday finally launched the offer on the London Stock Exchange, seeking to allow Eurobond holders to exchange their old papers for new ones. The Finance Ministry, to the advisors, are proposing 2 options for investors, that is, the DISCO or the PAR option. But in an attempt to ensure that this offer is successful, the ministry is offering $10 per every $1,000 of existing notes that are exchanged. Government is also proposing 2 special payments in cash to the holders that participate in this offer. Joy Business is also learning that the proposals are conditional and it to be dependent on how the whole offer goes. The Finance Ministry is hoping to end this exercise on September 30, 2024. This debt restructuring is part of the IMF program conditions, that is to help bring Ghana's total debt stock to sustainable levels at the end of 2028.
Now, inflation will continue to ease over the short term and in 2024 at 20.8%. That's according to Fitch Solutions' Inflation Outlook report. At the same time, food prices will continue to decline. Here's more.
According to the UK-based firm, inflation will average 22.1% in 2024. Inflation fell to 20.9% in July 2024 from the peak of 54.1% posted in December 2022. Into 2025, inflation will continue on a downtrend, averaging 16.2%. Although inflationary pressures are easing, they remain higher than what consumers were used to pre-pandemic, when inflation in Ghana averaged 12.4% from 2015 to 2019. This highlights how consumers will continue to face inflationary pressures in the short term. However, the continuous slowing of food inflation will be beneficial for consumer spending on other goods and services, given that food and non-alcoholic drinks account for more than 42% of total household spending in Ghana. Nonetheless, key household spending segments such as housing and utilities and transport prices are seeing their inflationary pressures rise.
Oil marketing companies are projecting a reduction in prices of petroleum products at the pumps from the middle of this month. This will, however, be dependent on the cedi stability. Dr. Everson Opong is Chief Executive of the Association of Oil Marketing Companies. He spoke on PM Express Business Edition.
Today, when you do have a pass-through cost that is given to you from the BDC level, George, you have no control over. And I think I said a very simple example. If I sell product to you at 7 cedis and you go and sell at 6 cedis, you're still going to pay 7 cedis regardless. I don't see you doing that. But see, one of the things that I've seen members also do is now doing a bid for supply. So they're able to get a cheaper cost of what? Product. Because they buy in high volumes. So then you buying maybe 7,000 or 7 million and he buying 20 million, he will get more discount than you. That's another good tactic. That's also happening. I said that my members are coming up. I mean, some of them anyway are coming up with. Serious and stringent strategies to make it happen, whilst others are just copying and pasting pricing. Taxes, levies, and margins today are around 21% of a pump price. If you're able to reduce it to
per liter?
Per liter, yes.
So anytime you get a liter of petroleum
21%.
21% of that is going to taxes and levies.
Levies, yeah, margins. That's a fact. You understand? So if that one comes down, I believe we'll be able to also reduce the price. And I believe it's also a high time we got local refineries working, because that also reduced the FRF price, because you now have an FOB price, even discounted.
Now, Minister of Finance, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, has indicated that resources allocated to the SME Growth and Opportunities Program is the largest SME financing initiative in the history of Ghana. He says government is supporting the Ghana Enterprise Agency and Ghana Exim Bank with a total of 700 million cedis, whilst the Development Bank Ghana is committing a total of about 1.2 billion cedis. He said the International Finance Corporation is also committing to support with $400 million for the program. Now, Dr. Amin, whose speech was presented by his technical advisor, Dr. Abudu Abdul Ganiyu, said that they continue to solidify the country's position as a leading hub for entrepreneurship and investment, and government will continue to place immense focus on small and medium-scale enterprises.
Government in July launched the SME Growth and Opportunity Program. The objective is to implement a sustainable financing framework that allows all public and private sector to scale up financial and technical support towards SME growth and expansion. Since the launch, there have been series of capacity building, including that of the Northern region. Speaking at the event, the advisor to the Minister of Finance, Dr. Abudu Abdul Ganiyu, said data was clear that supporting SMEs is crucial to achieving growth and development of the country.
We gather today as champions of a shared vision to create an enabling environment for our small and medium-sized enterprises to thrive. Our SMEs are the lifeblood of our economy, and it is our collective responsibility to ensure their success. The data is clear. Supporting SMEs is crucial to achieving our growth and development ambitions. We must be intentional about providing access to financial resources, expertise, and capacity building programs that empower them to drive innovation, create jobs, and stimulate economic growth. Ghana's growth beyond relying heavily on foreign direct investments and raw material exports, which can be volatile and expose us to external shocks.
The Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Dr. Stephen Amwa, called on all to join in creating a vibrant and inclusive economy that benefits all.
In July 2024, government successfully developed and launched the SME Growth and Opportunity Program. The objective of the SME Growth Program is to develop a sustainable financial framework that allows for both the public and private sector to scale up financial and technical support with SMEs. Ladies and gentlemen, the program will leverage within the institutional arrangement of the Ghana Enterprise Agency, Ghana Exim Bank, and Development Bank Ghana. Specifically, ladies and gentlemen, government will support GE with 200 million that will target growth SMEs with small-scale grants, loans of up to 2 years at highly subsidized rates.
The Northern Regional Minister, Shani Al-Hassan Shaibu, on his part, called for a coordinated effort whilst preferring ideas to help the SMEs reach new heights.
The fact that the foundation of our economy hinges on the thriving and expanding SME cannot be overemphasized. Consequently, as we discuss the SME Growth and Opportunity Program, we must ensure that our efforts are coordinated. Obstacles are recognized and creative solutions proffered in order to help SMEs reach new heights. SMEs have a vital role in fostering innovation and competitiveness, in addition to making a substantial contribution to the GDP of Ghana.
Meantime, the Ministry of Finance has also organized a sensitization program for SMEs in the OT region on how to access funds to support and expand their businesses and also their tax obligations to the state. The program explored the qualification criteria for accessing credit support from various agencies. Peter Senu has more.
The essence of the sensitization program for SMEs in the OT region was to create awareness about the opportunities existing for credit support for businesses and their tax obligations to the state. It was also to build capacity on managing funds when later accessed. The program saw presentations from Ghana Exim Bank, Development Bank, and the Ministry of Finance. The interactive engagement saw various presenters respond to questions from business owners. Speaking on behalf of the OT Regional Minister Daniel Machato at the program, Dr. Samuel Dara, the regional budget analyst, urged businesses in the region to be customer-oriented in order to thrive while accessing the existing opportunities for credit support.
Business is about dealing with people, managing people. So if you are not customer-oriented, if you are not innovative, if you are not creative, you realize that you might have the resources to put up the business or to establish the business, but it will not function. It will end up liquidating because you don't have the right character or attitude towards their customers. So our advice to the SMEs is that they should be customer oriented, they should be creative, they should be innovative, and then always they should understand that without the customers, the business cannot also function.
Dr. Dara also shared his view on the program.
As part of the vision of the minister is to ensure that it brings development and job creation for the people. So actually, he was so excited hearing about the organization of this stakeholders meeting. And I think looking at the content, the presentations that were made, they were in the right way, and the ORCC, or the Regional Coordinating Council, is also there to provide technical backstopping to ensure that every issue or those issues that have been discussed here will be fully implemented to bring job and improve the life of the people.
Some business owners who participated in the program also shared their views on the criteria for accessing the various credit facilities available.
This sensitization program it will really help my business grow well, because at the end of the day, if I've been given a grant, I know how to handle it well so that I will not run at a loss as a business owner. And also, some criteria has been set so that everybody who apply for the grant will be given, will have to meet that criteria before you be given that grant. And by so doing, tax paying is one of them, which I think that as a business owner or any business in Ghana that is operational must also be paying tax. And so you have to be that tax paying citizen.
Peter Senu for Joy News.
Now, the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program has reaffirmed its commitment to fostering economic growth and national development through an annual training workshop for the Ghanaian youth. 1,200 active scholars received training at the 2024 summer camp at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. The workshop introduced participants to various technical and vocational skills spanning agriculture and technological innovations to boost community development. There's more in this report.
This year's training program forms part of activities for the 10th anniversary celebration of the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program since its inception in 2014. The program has since offered beneficiaries, including the marginalized, opportunities to enhance their skills for the world of work. The summer camp activities are designed to build entrepreneurial skills and provide basic startup knowledge for job creation and community development. Efia Ampomewa is the program manager of the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program.
We've realized that for some scholars who actually take up their skills seriously even further, some of them have their own companies now and are even employing people even whilst they are on campus. And we also anticipate that as they are learning and then they are teaching others, the impact that they are also going to make in their various communities would help create visibility for the program and to also support the societal development and the community improvements in their various regions.
This year's summer camp was held under the theme Empowering Young Leaders, a Decade of Skills for Impact. Chairman of the MasterCard Foundation program at the KNUST, Professor William Otuelis, was upbeat about the potential of the summer camp training.
It's been a week that you have worked on these products, but I am trusting that the testimonies that we have had with some of you establishing companies and employing others, this year as you leave, we will also have the joy of having some of you as entrepreneurs.
Otumfor's Apinkra Hene, Nana Apinkra Akwesiewa I, encouraged the scholars to embrace the risks associated with the job market to stay resilient.
It is very disheartening to find spirited and talented young people in our country wasting away because of a lack of financial investment and the support to realize their dreams. Remember, the journey of entrepreneurship is not always smooth sailing. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubts, but through these enterprises, we learn, we grow, and ultimately achieve success.
Beneficiaries had the opportunity to engage in various activities, including event planning, yogurt production, culinary skills, poultry production, cybersecurity, photography, and beauty enhancement trainings.
I did wig making, and I got to know how we make wigs and then the different types of wigs. I plan on also giving back to the community by going back to my community and then teaching the young ones how to also make wigs.
So in Cameroon, we have several businesses that are running the country. So I can work as a data analyst and support them in decision making. If they have any problem they have, I can solve it. I can analyze the data and provide suggestions on how they can improve their business, improve their products.
For Jora News, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku.
All right, it's Friday. Let's lighten up a bit. On today's edition of Show Business, we are delving into the manifesto of the New Forces Nana Kwame Bediako, also known as Cheddar, who has emphasized the need for Ghana to build a world-class film studio to transform the creative industry. Now, beyond the film studio, he has outlined a range of policies to boost the economy, including tourism, digitalization, and entrepreneurship. The big question now is, how can these policies propel Ghana's economy and make the creative industry more competitive globally? Well, he has all the answers. Joining me, culture journalist Kenneth Awotridako, to help us unpack this. I like the sound of that. So, were his policies, did they meet your expectation? Maybe you can outline a few and whether or not, you're impressed by some of the policies that Cheddar handed out.
So for his manifesto specifically, there were a lot of expectations knowing the background that he comes from. A lot of people before the political, angle that he took knew him for his work a lot in the creative industry as well, in terms of the hoteliers industry. And also when it comes to tourism, people knew him in that space before he committed to this political agenda. So people were really looking forward to how that specific sector in his New Forces manifesto is going to have the propensity to propel growth in that particular space. That is why people expected him to deliver specifically, if not anywhere in the manifesto. That specific point was supposed to re-echo his background and experience in that specific field. So for me personally, I wasn't quite surprised the lane he took. He went to some technicalities of the sector itself. And so for me, I was expecting that from him. And indeed, on that score, I think he did some in-depth research and produced, a result that people feel like if he's given a chance, may sort of do some good for the creative industry and the tourism.
What stood out to you, though? I mean, we are here and talk about a world-class film studio. Is that for you the highlight of his presentation?
For me, it would be just a bit of the presentation, because when it comes to the building of film studios, it's not something that is very new when it comes to manifestos. For the past 2 weeks, we have talked about different manifestos from different political parties, and almost all of them actually have indicated a need for a film studio or a studio of some sort. And so that is not quite new, but the fact that he includes it in his manifesto, I mean, because the mere fact that someone has it in his does not mean that you cannot communicate that if that is also what your policy is aligned with. But beyond that, it also talks about the creation or the support for, the NDC and MP manifesto basically have talked about support for local content and content creation. Just that the way in which Nana Kwame talks about his is quite unique, because a lot of them have talked about support, but it hasn't been clear how exactly the support is going to be. But the New Forces manifesto talks about the fact that it's going to implement strategies that are going to protect the intellectual property of creatives, artists, musicians, every other creative endeavor in that particular space. And he feels like if their intellectual property are protected, it sort of holds them down when it comes to the base of their content, for which reason they can now do some monetization and be able to reap some active or passive income from their work. And so that is one thing that I feel like he hits home actually when it comes to.
Yeah, and what challenges do you anticipate with that?
There are a few challenges, because there's a reason why some of these things have not been touched on in the past, because of framework challenges when it comes to the collection of royalties, when it comes to giving artists their due, when it comes to the technological space. I mean, it is one thing to go and exhibit your work publicly and get paid for it. And it's another thing in this digital age to have your work online and have people give you money for that. And that is where piracy comes in, which he talked about also in his manifesto, that he's going to liaise with the creative sector and also the national security and also the other authorities in the creative sector to ensure that piracy is clamped down on, to ensure that artists or creatives are going to get their due. That is why I find the challenge, because it's going to be it's quite a new terrain, right? So it's going to be quite difficult to handle. But if focused on, there's some good there for the industry as well.
All right, thank you so much, Kenneth Aotudako. I hear this weekend is Homowa at Teshi.
Yeah, there's a season of festivities for the Ga community.
All right,
there's a lot happening.
to give you an idea how to spend your weekend. Thanks, Ken. Well, before we go, there are heightened calls for the government to make available the necessary funding support in projecting financial and literacy empowerment programs for the youth. Now, this comes on the back of the high rate of unemployment fueled by lack of financial support for young entrepreneurs, as well as poor literacy skills for a significant number of the youth. Engage Now Africa, a non-governmental organization, is prevailing on the government to support the private sector in tackling unemployment. Here's more.
Globally, literacy remains a significant challenge, with approximately 765 million adults over the age of 15 years lacking basic literacy skills. In Ghana, Engage Now Africa is actively working to change this narrative, offering literacy programs across 14 of the country's 16 regions. The NGO has integrated literacy with vocational training to empower learners in the Ashanti region. The recent event engaged the youth in Ajuso municipality with literacy and vocational skills. According to Cecilia Amankwa, Africa Director, Engage Now Africa, the integration of vocational skills with literacy has yielded impressive results.
Engage Now Africa has complemented literacy with vocational skills. It stands to equip the learner to be completely empowered to take charge of their destiny. Hence, over the years, we have invested heavily in vocational training, in hand sanitizers, lippy soap, disinfectants, shower gel, batik tie and dye, beads making, baking, washing powder, leatherworks, herb products, bridge production, and many more. All this training comes at no cost to the learner. We are faithfully bent to transform lives through this medium.
Engage Now has, however, appealed to the government to support NGOs that provide vocational skills with startup capital to help establish trainees to ease the unemployment situation in the country.
Let me seize this opportunity to request the government and all NGO and partners present to provide literacy skills with startup capital to ensure that learners, after training, establish businesses to ease the pressure of unemployment on the community and the country at large.
As the organization celebrates the graduation of 50 new learners, beneficiaries were encouraged to become ambassadors of empowerment, spreading their knowledge and skills to inspire others. Some of the beneficiaries spoke to Love News.
Training aboa me kwan bebre so because me to me fan say me wie school na me ware ye me nya adwuma bia eyensa no dwuma but adult literacy for number engage now for aba me menya nsa no dwuma bebre. We bless them one by one. Engage Now Africa, thank you.
All right, and that's our program, everyone. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back same time next week, but more news on our website, nigeriaonline.com/business. Goodbye.